Now let's begin with the furor generated by the choice of Senator Kashim Shettima as running mate to the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. As opinions continue to be divided over the Muslim-Muslim ticket, some facts have emerged about the inclusive approach to governance on the part of Senator Shettima. In some interviews he granted years ago, some of which are now trending on social media, the former Borno State governor demonstrated competence and compassion for leadership. And meanwhile, former governor of Jigawa State and chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, Sule Lamido, has denied media reports that he described Shettima as a bad choice. Lamido said he described the APC vice presidential candidate on a social media group as a leader with capacity and depth of brilliance. But first, let's share some of the trending Shettima interviews with you.
Or by those with whom they profess the same faith. And in this country, sir, if we are as religious as we are pretending to be, this country could not be in this mess. Religion has become a body of rituals devoid of practical value. We have God on our lips and table in our hearts. As the Christians in Borno, they are our brothers and sisters. They were born, bred, buttered, and toasted right in the heart of Borno. Are we going to barbecue them? Are we going to drive them into the lecture? We have a moral obligation to provide a level playing field. This is why I made deliberate efforts, affirmative action, to see that in every initiative, we make sure that the Christian community, not even the Christian community. I don't even subscribe to this notion of settlers and so on, non-indigens and so on. We have a very vibrant Igbo community in Maiduguri. One of my special advisors on community relations is an Igbo man from Anambra State. One of my senior special assistants, the closest to me, one of my closest senior special assistants, is an Orobo man.
Really?
Yes. And he was born, bred, buttered, and toasted right in the heart of Maiduguri. He speaks Hausa better than I do. So I believe that we have to run an inclusive government if we want people to have a sense of belonging and to contribute their quota to the development of our state. And in Borno, especially in southern Borno, most families are mixed up. You will find Muslims and Christians
in the same family.
In the same family.
Husband and wife in the same family.
Professing different faiths. The current chairman, Bishop Mohammed Naga, is from a Muslim family.
Yes,
his father is a Muslim.
He's a Khan man.
Yes, he's the Khan chairman.
He has Muhammad.
You know, and he has Muhammad. Yeah. His predecessor, his father is a Muslim, so also is his mother. And it might interest you. In his house, where his father stays, there is provision of a Muslim prayer rock and all other accessories for his father to practice his religion. And most importantly, let us admit that the Boko Haram came out of the Muslim fold. They never came out of the Christian faith. And they went about on a burning spree, burning churches and mosques. But I felt compelled to review all the churches destroyed by Boko Haram in southern Borno. Was it their own fault? These are people who are even in the best of times the poorest of the poor. They saved over a period of 5 years, 10 years to build a place of worship. And these lunatics came and burned those places of worship. So we have, leadership, I believe, requires fairness, requires justice, requires equity, requires inclusivity, and whatever price, believe me, at whatever price, I am willing to provide fair.
So I want to urge members of the council to continue with that sense of togetherness, that sense of brotherhood, or sisterhood, because there are some ladies here, so that we can move the nation forward. And to my colleagues, once again, we are a rare club of less than 40, 50 members in a nation of 200 million people. We are governors not because of our pedigree, certainly not because of our intellectual prowess. Most certainly, we are leaders, not because of our political acumen, certainly not. Power is one of God's gifts to humanity, and whether we like it or not, we will spend more years of our lives outside power than in power. The sooner we come to this reality, to the realization that power is very ephemeral, the better for all of us. And believe me, Your Excellencies, time is of essence. We should make haste. We are going to commit blunders, so be it. I would rather make blunders in a haste than not to act at all. I want you to stand with one another, to stand by one another, to stand for the Nigerian nation. I will leave you with the words of Pastor Martin Neumola, a Lutheran priest in Germany, who at the height of the Nazi persecution, he made this very poignant comment. He said, they came for the socialists, and I did one of God's gifts to humanity. And whether we like it or not, they came for the trade unionists, and I did not talk because I was not a trade unionist. They came for the Jews, and I did not talk because I was not a Jew. They came for me, and there was no one to speak for me. Let's work for the Nigerian nation. Let's foster peace, unity, and stability of the Nigerian.
All right, welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. I have my second guest in the studio already, Adekunle Yusuf. Welcome to the program, sir.
I'm glad to be here. Thank
All right, gentlemen, with the video we saw before we went on that break, and which is, we may be old, but then a test for moments like this. In the midst of ongoing criticisms in some quarters, while some Nigerians are also commending qualities of Shettima, downplaying what others call primordial sentiments, and rather focus on integrity, competence, and character.
Yes, it's, you know, a philosopher said time is a gentleman. And I like the lines from that philosopher so much. Time is a gentleman. Time has a way of healing wounds. Time has a way of exposing not just falsehood, but absurdities. We've had all kinds of things since Ashwaju picked Shettima as his running mate. Some even published a picture claiming that he was eating and literally in the same plate with Boko Haram members, you know, and all kinds of things. We're in a political season, people want to gain political advantage. But the truth is, when you work for the people, it remains hedged in their minds. The CAN chairman who testified to the good things that Shettima did for the Christian community in Borno State is still alive. And we've seen Shettima say here that he rebuilt churches that Boko Haram destroyed. As far as he's concerned, the Christians are not an inferior group in his state, and he did his best for them in terms of their welfare and all that. So when people listen to him, even galvanizing fellow governors that, look, we need to work for our people, we need to move quickly to bring dividends of democracy to our people. When people listen to him talking to the interviewer and recalling what he did for the Christian community, it helps them to form an opinion away from the maddening crowd, an opinion that reflects the true character and disposition of the man that we're talking about. Politics, the political season will go, but one thing will stay constant, and that is the truth. That is the truth.
All right, Adekunle.
Yeah, there's one thing I like in Shettima, and I don't know, maybe people have talked about it. You see, when you see a leader who has vision, you see, the best time that some of us normally, when they are leaving power, if you know the crisis and the intrigues, that converged when he was, living as governor of Borno State, and how the current governor emerged, I think I see some attributes of Asiwaju in him.
Okay.
You see, the man that is the governor today wasn't, if in the popular balance of politics, he won't be the candidate of the governor. There are some of the commissioners, there are many people who are close, but the governor was observing there is one young man who was always working very hard, took this job of caring for IDPs, people who are displaced because of insurgency crisis. That the man was working his heart out, working tirelessly, and all avenues to make money. He didn't bother. And at the right time, he said, no, even though I love you to succeed me, but there's somebody who is more qualified. By the time that was done, is Borno State now reaping the dividends today? When you look at the way Asiwaju, one of the best decisions Asiwaju has taken in his life, in public life, was that he was able to shun so many things by supporting, Babatunde Raji Fashola to become governor.
Right.
And everybody today will attest to the benefit of that singularity. You get my point? When you look at people, leaders who have vision, you see certain traits that run in them. To me, that's one thing. We can go on and talk, but there are certain things that are extremely central and critical to the future.
Thank you very much, Adekunle.